Welcome, dear listener. As you settle in for the night, take a deep breath and let the world fade away. Tonight, we follow Princess Isolde as she explores the mysterious attic of her castle, uncovering secrets and treasures hidden in the shadows. Close your eyes and let the magic unfold. Good night, dear friend. Let the story begin. Chapter 1. The Discovery of the Compass. Princess Isolde had always been a curious soul. The castle she called home was filled with countless rooms, secret passages, and mysterious nooks that beckoned to be explored. Yet, there was one place she had never ventured, the old attic. It sat high in the castle's tallest tower, its entrance obscured by shadows and the weight of time. One rainy afternoon, as the raindrops tapped a soothing rhythm against the castle windows, Isolde decided it was time to uncover the attic's secrets. She climbed the winding staircase, each step creaking underfoot, and reached the heavy wooden door adorned with iron hinges. Taking a deep breath, she pushed it open, releasing a cloud of dust into the air. The attic was a treasure trove of forgotten relics. Trunks and crates were piled haphazardly, covered in cobwebs and the dust of ages. Old tapestries and faded portraits lined the walls, their colours dimmed by time. Isolde stepped inside, her lantern casting a warm glow that chased away the darkness. She wandered through the attic, her fingers grazing the surfaces of ancient artifacts. Her eyes fell upon a particularly ornate chest, its wood carved with intricate patterns and inlaid with tiny gems that glinted in the lantern light. Intrigued, she knelt before it and carefully lifted the lid. Inside, a world of wonders awaited her. There were delicate porcelain figurines, old books with gilded pages, and a beautiful music box that played a hauntingly sweet melody. But it was something at the bottom of the chest that truly caught her eye, an old, weathered map. She carefully pulled it out, unfolding it with the utmost care. The map was unlike any she had seen before. It depicted strange lands with fantastical names and symbols she couldn't decipher. The parchment was yellowed and brittle, but it held an undeniable allure. As she examined it, her fingers brushed against another object hidden beneath it. She reached down and pulled out a small, ornate compass. The compass was made of brass, its surface etched with swirling designs. It felt warm in her hand, as if it were alive. When she opened it, she saw that its needle spun slowly before settling in a direction that wasn't north. It pointed unwaveringly, as if guiding her somewhere specific. A shiver of excitement ran through Isolde. This compass was no ordinary instrument. It was enchanted. She could feel its magic, a gentle hum that seemed to resonate with her own adventurous spirit. Clutching it tightly, she knew that her life was about to change. As the rain continued to patter against the roof above, Isolde sat on the attic floor, surrounded by the relics of the past. She felt a thrill of anticipation, a promise of adventure just beyond the horizon. The compass in her hand seemed to pulse with energy, guiding her towards a destiny yet unknown. The old attic had given up its secret, and with it, the first glimmer of an extraordinary journey. Isolde's heart raced as she carefully unfolded the ancient map. The parchment crackled softly, revealing a vast expanse of unknown lands. Strange symbols and drawings filled its surface, each one beckoning her curiosity. The map was divided into several regions, each marked with intricate illustrations of mythical creatures, towering mountains, and enchanted forests. Her eyes were drawn to a particular area marked by a shining sun. The sun's rays extended outwards, touching various points on the map. She traced her fingers over the symbols, trying to make sense of them. The compass in her other hand seemed to pulse gently, as if urging her to follow its guidance. Isolde took the map and the compass to her chambers, where she could study them in peace. She spread the map out on her desk, lit by the soft glow of candlelight, and began to decipher its mysteries. Hours passed as she pored over every detail, comparing the map with the castle's library of ancient texts and charts. Her diligent study revealed that the map was not just a guide to hidden realms, but also a key to understanding her ancestors' legacy. The symbols and drawings corresponded to stories she had heard as a child. Tales of brave knights, wise sorcerers, and enchanted lands. She realized that these tales were more than just bedtime stories. They were part of her family's history. One symbol in particular caught her attention: a crescent moon intertwined with a star. It was a motif she had seen before in the castle's great hall, embedded in the stained glass windows. It represented her family's crest, a symbol of their ancient lineage. She knew then that the map and compass were meant for her, passed down through generations. The compass, resting beside the map, seemed to hum with approval. Its needle pointed steadily towards the same shining sun depicted on the map. Isolde felt a surge of determination. The map and compass were guiding her to something extraordinary, something that had been waiting for her for centuries. As she continued to study, she discovered that the map's inscriptions were written in an ancient dialect. With the help of an old tome she found in the library, she painstakingly translated the words. They spoke of a hidden realm, a place of great beauty and magic, accessible only to those who possessed the enchanted compass. Her heart pounded with excitement and a hint of trepidation. The map spoke of trials and challenges that awaited those who sought the hidden realm. But it also promised wonders beyond imagination. Lands where the very air shimmered with magic, and where dreams took flight on gossamer wings. Isolde knew that she had to follow the map and compass, no matter where they led. She felt a deep connection to her ancestors, as if their spirits were guiding her steps. With the ancient map in hand, and the enchanted compass pointing the way. She was ready to embark on her adventure. The rain had stopped, and a serene stillness settled over the castle. Isolde carefully rolled up the map and placed it in a leather satchel along with the compass. She glanced out of her window, where the first light of dawn was breaking over the horizon. The world was waking up, and so was she, waking to a destiny that awaited her beyond the castle walls. The morning sun bathed the castle in a warm golden light as Isolde ventured into the castle gardens, the ancient map and compass safely tucked away in her satchel. She could feel the compass's gentle hum through the leather, its needle unwavering in its direction. Each step she took seemed to resonate with a purpose she could scarcely understand but deeply felt. Isolde wandered through the manicured paths of the garden, her thoughts consumed by the compass's mystery. She passed fountains that sparkled in the sunlight, beds of roses blooming in vibrant colours, and statues of her ancestors standing proud and silent. Yet, her mind was far from the familiar beauty around her. It was on the adventure that awaited beyond the castle walls. Curiosity gnawed at her. What was the true power of this enchanted compass? She found a quiet spot beneath a sprawling oak tree and sat down, pulling the compass from her satchel. The moment it was in her hand, the needle spun briefly before pointing steadily to the northeast. It was as if it had a life of its own, a sentient force guiding her steps. Determined to understand its magic, Isolde closed her eyes and focused on the compass. She felt a gentle pull, a subtle yet insistent tug in her heart, drawing her towards the unknown. When she opened her eyes, the world around her seemed to shimmer slightly, as if reality itself had shifted. The garden was the same, yet different, brighter, more vivid, as if seen through a lens of magic. She realized that the compass was not merely a guide, but a key to seeing the world through a different perspective. It revealed hidden paths and secret places that were invisible to ordinary eyes. The thought filled her with a mixture of awe and excitement. She felt as though she had been chosen for something extraordinary, a journey that would take her to realms beyond her wildest dreams. Driven by this newfound understanding, Isolde decided to test the compass's power further. She rose to her feet and followed its direction. The compass led her through the garden, past the grand fountains and ancient statues, and towards a part of the grounds she rarely visited. It was a secluded area, overgrown with ivy and surrounded by tall hedges. As she pushed through the thick greenery, she discovered a hidden gate, its iron bars entwined with vines and flowers. The compass's needle pointed directly at it, unwavering. With a deep breath, Isolde pushed the gate open and stepped through. On the other side, she found herself in a small, forgotten courtyard. It was a place of serene beauty, untouched by time. A single, ancient oak tree stood in the center, its branches spreading wide like a protective canopy. Beneath it, a stone bench invited her to sit. Isolde approached the bench and sat down, the compass warm in her hand. She felt a deep sense of peace, as if she had arrived at a place of great significance. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the soft rustle of leaves. She closed her eyes and let the tranquility wash over her, feeling a connection to her ancestors and the magic that flowed through her veins. The compass had shown her its true power, not just to guide her steps, but to reveal hidden wonders and secrets long forgotten. Isolde knew that this was only the beginning. The real adventure awaited her beyond the castle walls, in the realms that the ancient map had promised. With renewed determination, she rose from the bench and made her way back to the castle. The compass had chosen her, and she would follow its guidance no matter where it led. The journey ahead was filled with uncertainty, but also with the promise of discovery and magic. Isolde was ready to embrace her destiny, to uncover the secrets of the hidden realms, and to fulfill the legacy of her ancestors. That night, Isolde lay in her bed, the compass resting on her nightstand. The events of the day had left her mind whirling with possibilities. She fell asleep with the ancient map spread out beside her, its strange symbols and unfamiliar lands filling her dreams. In the depths of her slumber, she found herself standing in a vast meadow bathed in silver moonlight. The air was cool and sweet, with the scent of night-blooming flowers. Above her, the stars glittered like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky. She held the compass in her hand, its needle glowing softly, pointing towards a distant horizon. Isolde began to walk, her steps light and sure, as if guided by an unseen force. The meadow gave way to a dense forest, its trees tall and majestic, their leaves whispering secrets in a language she could almost understand. The path before her was illuminated by tiny flickering lights, fireflies dancing in the night air, leading her deeper into the woods. As she ventured further, the forest opened up to reveal a crystal-clear lake, its surface shimmering under the moon's gentle gaze. She could see her reflection in the water, her eyes wide with wonder. The compass in her hand pulsed with a gentle warmth, urging her onward. She dipped her fingers into the water, and the ripples formed images, visions of distant lands and magical creatures. Isolde saw herself standing atop a mountain peak, the wind whipping through her hair as she gazed out over a vast, enchanted realm. She saw a majestic castle with towers that reached for the heavens, surrounded by lush, green forests and sparkling rivers. She saw a hidden valley where unicorns grazed and dragons soared through the sky. Each vision filled her heart with a sense of awe and anticipation. The visions shifted, and she found herself in a beautiful garden, unlike any she had ever seen. Flowers of every hue bloomed in profusion, their petals glowing with an inner light. A stone path wound through the garden, leading to a fountain at its center. The fountain's water sparkled like liquid crystal, and a soft, melodic chime filled the air. She felt a profound peace in this place, a sense of belonging. As she approached the fountain, a figure emerged from the shadows. A tall, graceful woman with long, flowing hair and eyes that shone with wisdom. She wore a gown that seemed to be woven from the very fabric of the night sky, adorned with twinkling stars. The woman smiled at Isolde, her expression kind and welcoming. "Welcome, Isolde," the woman said in a voice that was both gentle and powerful. "You have been chosen to follow the path of the enchanted compass. Your journey will be filled with wonders and challenges, but know that you are not alone. The compass will guide you, and your ancestors' spirits will watch over you." Isolde felt a surge of gratitude and determination. She knew that this was not just a dream. It was a glimpse into her future, a promise of the adventures that awaited her. The woman's words echoed in her mind as the vision began to fade, replaced by the comforting darkness of sleep. When she awoke, the morning sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden glow through her window. The map and compass were still beside her, tangible reminders of the extraordinary night. Isolde sat up, her heart filled with a renewed sense of purpose. She was more determined than ever to follow the compass's direction, convinced that it was her destiny to uncover the hidden realms. With the first glimmer of adventure igniting her spirit, Isolde prepared to embark on her journey. She knew that the path ahead would be filled with unknowns, but she welcomed the challenge. The enchanted compass had chosen her, and she was ready to embrace her destiny, no matter where it led. Isolde felt a renewed sense of purpose as she dressed and prepared for the day. The memory of her dream was vivid, and the enchanted compass seemed to hum with anticipation. She decided to follow its guidance immediately, sensing that the compass held many more secrets to reveal. After a quick breakfast, she set off, letting the compass lead her once again. The compass directed her through familiar parts of the castle grounds, and she found herself moving towards the area that lay beyond the well-tended gardens. She passed through archways covered in ivy and walked along paths lined with ancient oaks until she reached the outskirts of the castle's domain. Here, the manicured lawns gave way to wild meadows and untamed foliage. Isolde ventured further, the compass guiding her through a tangle of brambles and overgrown hedges. She pushed aside branches and leaves until she stumbled upon an old wrought iron gate, its bars rusted and entwined with vines. The compass needle pointed directly at it, unwavering. Taking a deep breath, Isolde pushed the gate open, and it creaked in protest before swinging wide to reveal what lay beyond. Before her eyes, a hidden garden unfolded. It was a place of ethereal beauty, untouched by time. Flowers of every conceivable colour and shape bloomed in wild profusion, their petals glistening with morning dew. Butterflies flitted from blossom to blossom, and birds sang sweetly from the branches of trees that seemed to glow with a gentle inner light. Isolde walked down a cobblestone path that wound through the garden, feeling as if she had stepped into a realm of enchantment. She marvelled at the sights and sounds, each step filling her with a sense of wonder. It was as if the garden was alive with magic, every leaf and petal infused with an ancient, vibrant energy. As she ventured deeper, she noticed a clearing at the centre of the garden. There, a stone fountain stood, its waters sparkling in the sunlight. The fountain was adorned with intricate carvings of mythical creatures and symbols that matched those on the ancient map. Isolde approached the fountain, feeling an inexplicable pull towards it. By the fountain's edge, she saw a small pedestal with a stone bowl. Inside the bowl lay a rolled-up scroll, sealed with a wax crest that bore her family's emblem. The crescent moon intertwined with the star. Her heart pounded with excitement as she carefully lifted the scroll and broke the seal. Unfurling the parchment, she discovered that it was a message written in elegant, flowing script. The words seemed to glow with a faint, golden light, and as she read, she felt a connection to the writer, a sense of familiarity and kinship. "Dearest Isolde," the message began, "if you are reading this, then you have found the compass and map, and you are ready to embark on a journey that has been foretold through generations. The compass is a guide, not only to hidden realms, but also to your true destiny. Follow its guidance with courage and wisdom, and you will uncover secrets that have long been hidden from the world." The message continued, revealing that the hidden garden was a sanctuary created by her ancestors, a place of refuge and reflection. It was here that they had discovered the power of the compass and the path to the enchanted realms. The scroll spoke of trials and guardians, of magical creatures and ancient wisdom, all waiting to be discovered by those who were worthy. Isolde felt a swell of pride and responsibility. She understood now that her journey was part of a greater legacy, a continuation of the adventures and discoveries of her forebears. The compass had led her to this hidden garden as the first step on her path, and the scroll had provided the final confirmation she needed. With the scroll in hand and the compass pointing ever forward, Isolde knew she was ready to begin her quest in earnest. The hidden realms awaited her, filled with wonders and challenges. She was no longer just a princess within the walls of a castle. She was an adventurer, a seeker of truths, and the bearer of an ancient legacy. Isolde sat beside the fountain, the scroll trembling slightly in her hands. The hidden garden, with its tranquil beauty and profound magic, seemed to hold its breath as she continued to read. Each word on the scroll resonated with her, weaving a tapestry of her family's legacy and the path that lay ahead. The message from her ancestor detailed the origins of the enchanted compass. It had been crafted by a powerful sorcerer in ancient times, imbued with magic that could guide the bearer to realms unseen by ordinary eyes. The compass, the scroll explained, was not just a tool, but a guardian of sorts, leading those who were worthy to places of great power and mystery. "You are the chosen one, Isolde," the scroll read. "The compass has selected you for a reason. Your heart is pure and your spirit is strong. Trust in its guidance and embrace the adventures it sets before you. Each step you take will bring you closer to understanding your true potential and the destiny that awaits." Isolde felt a mix of awe and responsibility. The compass and the map were keys to unlocking not only hidden realms, but also her own latent abilities. She realized that her journey would be as much about self-discovery as it would be about exploring the magical worlds depicted on the map. As she rolled up the scroll and placed it back in the stone bowl, a soft, melodic chime filled the air. She looked up to see the fountain's waters beginning to glow with a radiant light. The carvings on the fountain seemed to come alive, the mythical creatures and symbols shimmering with ethereal beauty. Isolde felt a surge of energy flow through her, as if the garden itself was imparting its blessing upon her quest. The compass, resting in her satchel, vibrated gently, its needle pointing steadfastly towards the next step in her journey. She knew that it was time to leave the safety of the castle and venture into the unknown. Rising to her feet, Isolde took a moment to absorb the garden's splendor one last time. The hidden sanctuary had given her the confirmation and courage she needed. She felt a deep connection to her ancestors and their legacy, a bond that would guide and support her through the trials ahead. With a final glance at the glowing fountain, Isolde turned and made her way back through the gate and into the castle grounds. The sun was high in the sky, casting a warm golden light over the landscape. She felt a sense of purpose and excitement, her steps light and her heart full of determination. She returned to her chambers, where she gathered the items she would need for her journey. The ancient map, the enchanted compass, and a few essential supplies were carefully packed into her satchel. As she prepared, she couldn't help but feel a thrill of anticipation. The hidden realms awaited, filled with wonders and challenges that would test her in ways she could not yet imagine. Standing at the edge of the castle grounds, Isolde took a deep breath and looked back at her home. The castle had been her sanctuary, a place of comfort and learning. But now it was time to step beyond its walls and into a world of adventure. She felt a pang of sadness at leaving, but it was overshadowed by the excitement of the journey ahead. With the compass in hand and the map guiding her way, Isolde set off on her adventure. The path before her was unknown, but she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The enchanted compass had chosen her. and she would honor its trust by embracing her destiny with courage and grace. As she walked away from the castle, the garden, and all that was familiar, Isolde felt the first stirrings of true freedom. The hidden realms were calling, and she was eager to discover their secrets and fulfill the legacy of her ancestors. The adventure of a lifetime awaited, and she was ready to meet it head-on. Chapter 2. The journey begins. The castle faded into the distance as Isolde followed the enchanted compass towards the enchanted forest. The path before her was lined with ancient trees whose branches seemed to reach out like welcoming arms. Each step she took felt guided by an invisible hand, the compass's needle pointing unwaveringly ahead. As she approached the forest's edge, a gentle breeze stirred the leaves, whispering secrets in a language just beyond her understanding. The trees were colossal, their trunks thick and gnarled, roots twisting like ancient serpents. The air was cool and fragrant with the scent of pine and earth, mingled with the sweet aroma of blooming flowers. Isolde paused at the threshold of the forest, taking a deep breath. The compass glowed faintly in her hand, its light a beacon of reassurance. She stepped forward, crossing the boundary into the enchanted forest. Immediately, the atmosphere shifted. The sounds of the outside world faded, replaced by the melodic rustle of leaves and the distant calls of unseen creatures. The path wound deeper into the forest, dappled sunlight filtering through the canopy above. Isolde marveled at the sights around her. Mushrooms the size of dinner plates, flowers that shimmered with an inner light, and vines that seemed to pulse with life. The forest was alive with magic, every step revealing new wonders. As she ventured further, Isolde noticed that the forest seemed to respond to her presence. The trees bent slightly as she passed, and the underbrush parted to clear her path. It was as if the forest recognized her, welcoming her as a kindred spirit. She felt a deep sense of belonging, as though she had come home to a place she had never known existed. The compass guided her with unwavering precision, leading her through twists and turns, over babbling brooks, and beneath arches of flowering vines. Each step took her deeper into the heart of the forest, where the light grew softer and the air more enchanted. She felt a growing sense of anticipation, knowing that the forest held many secrets waiting to be discovered. As the day turned to dusk, Isolde found herself in a small clearing. The trees formed a natural circle around her, their leaves glowing with a gentle, luminescent light. Fireflies danced in the twilight, their flickering lights adding to the enchantment of the scene. She sat down on a moss-covered rock, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. The compass pointed her towards a narrow path that led deeper into the forest, its needle glowing faintly in the gathering darkness. Isolde knew she needed to rest before continuing her journey. She unfurled a blanket from her satchel and lay down, gazing up at the stars that had begun to appear in the night sky. The forest seemed to hum with a gentle lullaby, the leaves whispering softly in the breeze. Isolde closed her eyes, feeling the day's weariness slip away. Her dreams that night were filled with visions of the forest, trees that spoke, rivers that sang, and creatures of myth and legend. She saw glimpses of the hidden realms the compass promised, each vision more wondrous than the last. When she awoke, the first light of dawn was filtering through the trees, casting the forest in a soft golden glow. Isolde felt refreshed and ready to continue her journey. She packed her belongings, and with the compass in hand, she followed the narrow path deeper into the forest. The enchanted forest was vast and full of magic, each step revealing new marvels. Isolde felt a sense of wonder and excitement, knowing that her journey had only just begun. The compass was her guide, its needle pointing steadfastly towards the heart of the forest and the adventures that awaited her. Isolde continued her journey deeper into the enchanted forest, following the compass's glowing needle. The air was thick with magic, and she felt as if she were walking through a living dream. As she ventured further, the forest began to change. The trees grew taller, their branches intertwining overhead to form a natural cathedral of leaves and light. It was here, in the heart of the forest, that Isolde began to hear the whispers. At first, they were faint, barely audible over the rustling leaves and the calls of distant birds. But as she walked, the whispers grew clearer. It was as if the trees themselves were speaking, their voices soft and ancient. Isolde, they murmured, her name rustling through the canopy. Welcome, child of destiny. You have come far, but your journey has only just begun. Isolde paused, her heart racing. She looked around, trying to find the source of the voices, but saw only the trees standing tall and silent. Yet she felt their presence keenly, as if the forest was alive and aware of her. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "We are the whispering trees," came the reply. "Guardians of the forest, keepers of ancient secrets. We have watched over this land for centuries, waiting for one who is worthy to seek the hidden realms." Isolde felt a thrill of awe and fear. She had heard legends of the whispering trees, but she had never imagined they were real. She listened intently as the trees continued to speak. "You hold the enchanted compass, a gift from your ancestors," they said. "It will guide you, but you must also rely on your own strength and wisdom. The path ahead is fraught with challenges, but you are not alone. We will aid you if you prove yourself worthy." "What must I do?" Isolde asked, her voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. "Listen to the forest," the trees replied. "Heed our advice and warnings. Trust in the magic of the compass, but also in your own instincts. You will face trials that will test your courage, wisdom, and heart. Only by overcoming these challenges can you unlock the true power of the compass and discover the hidden realms. Isolde nodded, determination filling her. She had come this far, and she was not about to turn back. She thanked the whispering trees for their guidance and continued along the path, the forest seeming to part before her. As she walked, the trees whispered advice and warnings, their voices blending with the sounds of the forest. They told her of the challenges she would face, trickster spirits who would try to lead her astray, shadowy creatures who guarded the secrets of the forest, and ancient riddles that held the keys to hidden passages. Isolde listened carefully, committing each piece of advice to memory. She felt a deep sense of gratitude towards the whispering trees. Their guidance was invaluable, and their presence gave her strength. The forest was no longer just a mysterious place. It was a living entity, a protector, and a guide. The path grew steeper as Isolde climbed a small hill, the trees thinning to reveal a stunning view of the forest below. She could see the sun beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the treetops. She felt a sense of peace and purpose, knowing that she was on the right path. As the last light of day faded, Isolde found a sheltered grove where she could rest. She set up camp, feeling the forest's protective presence all around her. The whispering trees continued to murmur softly, their voices lulling her into a peaceful sleep. Her dreams were filled with visions of the journey ahead, trials and triumphs, danger and discovery. She saw herself standing before ancient gates, crossing bridges of light and gazing into shimmering lakes. Each vision was a promise of the adventures that awaited her, and she felt a deep sense of readiness. When she awoke at dawn, the forest was alive with the songs of birds and the soft rustle of leaves. Isolde packed her belongings, her heart filled with determination. She was ready to face the challenges ahead, to heed the advice of the whispering trees, and to follow the enchanted compass wherever it led. Isolde continued her journey through the enchanted forest, the compass guiding her deeper into its mystical heart. The forest around her seemed to pulse with magic, each step taking her closer to the unknown. The whispers of the trees were her constant companions, their advice and warnings blending with the natural sounds of the forest. As the day wore on, Isolde found herself standing at the edge of a deep ravine. The ground fell away sharply, revealing a chasm that stretched as far as she could see. The other side seemed impossibly distant, shrouded in mist and mystery. She hesitated, wondering how she would cross such an obstacle. The compass glowed softly in her hand, its needle pointing directly across the ravine. Isolde took a deep breath and stepped closer to the edge. As she did, a shimmering light appeared before her, gradually taking shape until it formed a bridge made of silvery, ethereal light. The bridge spanned the chasm, its surface gleaming like moonlight on water. Isolde approached the bridge cautiously, testing it with her foot. It felt solid beneath her, despite its insubstantial appearance. Gathering her courage, she stepped onto the bridge and began to walk across. The silvery light enveloped her, and she felt a strange sensation, as if she were walking through a dream. With each step, the world around her seemed to shift and change. She saw visions of distant lands, landscapes filled with magic and wonder. She walked through fields of golden flowers that sang softly in the breeze, across rivers of liquid starlight, and under skies filled with shimmering constellations. Each vision was more enchanting than the last, filling her heart with awe. As she neared the center of the bridge, the visions grew more vivid. She saw herself standing before an ancient gate, its surface carved with symbols of power and mystery. Beyond the gate lay a hidden realm of breathtaking beauty, a place where magic flowed freely and dreams took form. She felt a deep connection to this realm, as if it were calling to her, waiting for her arrival. The vision shifted, and she saw herself facing challenges and trials. She stood before shadowy creatures, solved riddles that twisted her mind, and crossed treacherous landscapes. Each vision was a glimpse into her future, a promise of the adventures that awaited her. She felt a mixture of excitement and determination, knowing that her journey was only just beginning. As she walked, she realized that the bridge was not just a physical crossing, but a journey through her own dreams and aspirations. The bridge of dreams was revealing her deepest desires and fears, preparing her for the trials ahead. She felt a sense of clarity and purpose, her path illuminated by the visions she had seen. Finally, she reached the other side of the ravine. The bridge of light faded behind her, leaving her standing on solid ground once more. The forest on this side was different, the air charged with a deeper, more potent magic. She felt invigorated, as if the journey across the bridge had filled her with new strength and resolve. Isolde looked back at the ravine, the memories of the visions fresh in her mind. She knew that the bridge had shown her what she needed to see, guiding her towards her destiny. The compass in her hand glowed brighter, its needle pointing forward with unwavering certainty. With renewed determination, Isolde continued her journey. The path ahead was filled with unknowns, but she was ready to face whatever challenges lay in her way. The bridge of dreams had revealed her future, and she was eager to embrace it. She walked on, the compass leading her towards the next step in her adventure. Isolde walked on, the enchanted compass guiding her steps through the ever-deepening forest. The trees around her seemed to glow with an inner light, their leaves shimmering like emeralds in the fading daylight. The forest grew quieter, the sounds of the day giving way to the soft rustle of night creatures and the distant hoot of an owl. As twilight descended, The compass led Isolde to the edge of a vast, serene lake. The waters reflected the silver light of the moon, which hung low in the sky, casting an ethereal glow over the entire scene. The lake's surface was so still that it looked like a mirror, perfectly reflecting the star-studded sky above. She felt a deep sense of peace and awe as she gazed upon this magical place. Drawn by an inexplicable urge, Isolde stepped closer to the water's edge. The compass pulsed warmly in her hand, its needle pointing directly towards the center of the lake. She noticed a small boat, seemingly carved from a single piece of wood, tethered to a nearby tree. The boat was adorned with delicate carvings of flowers and vines, its craftsmanship exquisite. Isolde untied the boat and climbed in, the compass guiding her as she took up the oars. The boat glided smoothly over the surface of the lake, barely making a ripple. The air was filled with the scent of night-blooming jasmine, and the only sound was the gentle splash of the oars. As she rowed towards the center of the lake, she felt a sense of anticipation building within her. When she reached the middle of the lake, the water around her began to shimmer with a soft blue light. Tiny glowing fish swam beneath the surface, their movements creating intricate patterns of light. Isolde watched in wonder as the lake transformed into a scene of pure enchantment. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the water, rising gracefully to stand on the surface as if it was solid ground. It was a woman, tall and slender, with hair that flowed like liquid silver and eyes that shone with the light of the moon. She wore a gown of shimmering white that seemed to be woven from the very fabric of starlight. Isolde knew at once that this was the guardian of the lake. "Welcome, Isolde," the guardian said, her voice like the soft murmur of waves. "I am Celine, the guardian of the moonlit lake. You have been guided here by the compass, and your journey is one of great significance." Isolde felt a sense of awe and reverence. She bowed her head respectfully. "Thank you, Celine. The compass has led me here, but I do not yet fully understand my purpose. The compass has chosen you because you possess the qualities needed to unlock the secrets of the hidden realms," Celine explained. "You have shown courage, wisdom, and a pure heart. The lake reflects the journey you must take, calm and serene on the surface, but filled with hidden depths and wonders." Celine gestured towards the lake, and its surface began to ripple, revealing images within the water. Isolde saw visions of the challenges that lay ahead: enchanted forests, towering mountains, and ancient gates guarded by formidable beings. She saw herself facing these trials, each one bringing her closer to her ultimate destiny. "The path will not be easy," Celine said, her voice gentle yet firm. "But you are not alone. The compass will guide you, and the spirits of your ancestors will watch over you. Trust in yourself, Isolde, and you will succeed." Isolde felt a surge of determination. I am ready, Celine. I will face whatever challenges lie ahead. Celine smiled, her eyes filled with a knowing light. Then go forth with our blessing. The lake will always be here to guide you when you need it. With a graceful bow, Celine descended back into the water, disappearing as seamlessly as she had appeared. The lake's surface returned to its mirror-like stillness, but Isolde felt changed, imbued with a sense of purpose and strength. She rowed back to the shore, her heart light and her spirit determined. The compass glowed warmly in her hand, its needle pointing towards the next step in her journey. Isolde knew that she was ready to face whatever lay ahead, guided by the compass and the wisdom of those she had encountered. As she stepped onto the shore, the path before her seemed to glow with a faint, welcoming light. She walked on, the forest closing around her like a protective embrace, each step taking her closer to her destiny. As Isolde ventured deeper into the forest, guided by the unwavering needle of the enchanted compass, she felt the air grow thick with anticipation. The trees, ancient and wise, seemed to whisper in a language only the forest understood. She knew that she was nearing a crucial part of her journey, the compass leading her towards a significant threshold. The path began to rise, and soon she was climbing a steep, rocky incline. The foliage became denser, and the light of the sun struggled to penetrate the thick canopy. The air was cooler here, tinged with the scent of moss and earth. After a strenuous climb, Isolde emerged into a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient gate, imposing and formidable. It was constructed of massive stone pillars, intricately carved with runes and symbols that glowed faintly with an inner light. The gate's archway was filled with a shimmering, translucent barrier, like a veil of liquid glass. This was the gateway to the hidden realms, the entrance to the next stage of her journey. Standing before the gate was a guardian, a figure both majestic and intimidating. He was tall and broad-shouldered, clad in armor that seemed to be made of the very essence of the forest, wood, leaves, and stone, all woven together by magic. His eyes were a deep forest green, and his presence radiated strength and wisdom. "Isolde," the guardian spoke, his voice deep and resonant. "I am Arik, the guardian of the gate. You have journeyed far, guided by the enchanted compass. To pass through this gate, you must prove your worthiness. Are you prepared to face the challenge?" Isolde nodded, her heart steady with determination. "I am ready, Arik. What must I do?" Arik gestured to the runes on the gate. "To pass, you must solve a riddle that guards this ancient gate. Listen carefully and choose your answer wisely, for only the worthy may enter the hidden realms." He paused, his gaze steady and unyielding. Then he spoke the riddle. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Isolde furrowed her brow, contemplating the riddle. She closed her eyes, letting the words echo in her mind. The answer came to her, a whisper carried on the breeze that rustled the leaves around her. An echo, she said confidently, opening her eyes to meet Arik's gaze. Arik smiled, a look of approval in his eyes. You have answered correctly, Isolde. The echo is the voice of the wind, a sound that exists without form. You have proven your wisdom. He stepped aside, and the shimmering barrier within the archway began to dissolve, revealing a passageway bathed in soft golden light. You may now pass through the gate and enter the hidden realms. But remember, your journey is far from over. Many trials and wonders await you. Stay true to your heart and trust in the compass. Isolde stepped forward, her heart filled with a mixture of excitement and solemnity. She passed through the gate, feeling a gentle warmth as the golden light enveloped her. The forest behind her faded from view, replaced by a landscape of breathtaking beauty. She found herself in a realm that seemed to be crafted from the dreams of the most imaginative minds. The sky was a brilliant tapestry of colors, the air shimmering with magical energy. Lush, verdant meadows stretched out before her, dotted with flowers that glowed with an inner light. Rivers of crystal clear water wound through the land, their surfaces sparkling like diamonds in the sunlight. Isolde took a deep breath, feeling a profound sense of belonging. This was the hidden realm, the place her ancestors had spoken of, a land where magic flowed freely and dreams took shape. She felt a deep connection to this place, as if it were a part of her very soul. With the compass guiding her steps, and the wisdom of the whispering trees and Celine the guardian still fresh in her mind, Isolde set forth into the hidden realm. She knew that her journey was only beginning, and that many challenges and wonders awaited her. But she was ready to face them, to embrace her destiny and uncover the secrets of her family's past and her own true potential. As Isolde stepped fully into the hidden realm, she felt an overwhelming sense of wonder and tranquility. The landscape before her was a vivid tapestry of nature's most enchanting elements. Trees with golden leaves whispered secrets in the wind, and flowers with petals like precious gems carpeted the meadows. The sky above shifted in hues of twilight, stars twinkling like diamonds scattered across a silken backdrop. The air was alive with magic, each breath she took filling her with a sense of renewal and possibility. The compass, glowing warmly in her hand, pointed her towards a distant hill, crowned by a magnificent palace that seemed to float on a cloud. The path to the palace was lined with crystalline trees that sparkled in the soft light. As she walked, Isolde encountered creatures of myth and legend. A unicorn with a mane of silver and eyes like pools of moonlight bowed its head in greeting. Isolde reached out to touch its velvety nose, feeling the connection of ancient magic between them. Birds with iridescent feathers sang melodious songs, their music weaving a spell of serenity around her. The journey to the palace was both a physical and spiritual journey. Isolde felt her heart swell with a sense of belonging and purpose. The hidden realm seemed to recognize her, welcoming her as a long-lost heir returning home. Every step she took felt guided by an unseen force. The compass in her hand, a constant reminder of her destiny. As she approached the palace, she marveled at its beauty. It was made of materials she could not name, walls that shimmered like mother of pearl, and towers that seemed to be carved from the light of the moon. The gates of the palace opened silently at her approach, revealing a grand hall filled with ethereal light and delicate music. Isolde entered the hall, her footsteps echoing softly on the polished floor. At the far end of the hall stood a throne, and upon it sat a figure of immense grace and power. It was a woman, regal and timeless, her eyes filled with wisdom and kindness. She wore a crown of stars, and her gown flowed like liquid light. "Welcome, Isolde," the woman said, her voice a melody that filled the hall. "I am Aloria, Queen of the Hidden Realm. You have journeyed far and proven your worthiness. The enchanted compass has guided you here for a reason." Isolde bowed deeply, feeling a profound respect for the Queen. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I seek to understand my destiny and the secrets of my family's past." Queen Aloria smiled, her eyes twinkling like the night sky. "The compass has been passed down through generations of your family, each bearer uncovering new realms and forging new paths. It is both a guide and a symbol of your lineage. You are the next in line to continue this legacy." She gestured, and a vision appeared before Isolde, a tapestry woven from light and memory. It showed her ancestors, brave and wise, each one contributing to the rich history of the hidden realms. She saw them exploring unknown lands, discovering magical creatures, and forging alliances that shaped the very fabric of the realm. "You, Isolde, are destined to unite the realms," Queen Aloria continued. "Your journey is to bring harmony between the hidden realms and the world beyond. The compass will guide you, but your heart and wisdom will be your true compass." Isolde felt a swell of pride and responsibility. She understood now that her journey was not just about exploration, but about unification and harmony. The hidden realm held the secrets of her past and the key to her future. "Thank you, Your Majesty," Isolde said, her voice filled with resolve. "I will honor this legacy and fulfill my destiny." Queen Aloria rose from her throne, her presence radiant. "Go forth, Isolde. The hidden realms are now open to you. Discover their wonders, face their challenges, and let your heart be your guide." With the compass glowing brightly in her hand and her heart filled with purpose, Isolde set forth into the hidden realms. She knew that her journey was just beginning, and that many adventures and discoveries awaited her. The path ahead was filled with both wonder and challenge, but she was ready to face it with courage and wisdom. As she stepped out of the palace and into the vast magical landscape of the hidden realm, Isolde felt a deep sense of peace and anticipation. The enchanted compass had led her here, to the heart of her destiny, and she was ready to embrace it fully. The hidden realms held countless secrets, and she was determined to uncover them all.